Hello, welcome back. I have to say that this Glowlichen farm is it's a little ridiculous. I think I got, yeah, it was like 6 full stacks of Glowlichen in like 30 seconds. It's insane. It's amazing. This is designed by Il Mango. There will be a link down in the description down below. So yeah, go check it out. It's really good. And I have to say, I'm a little surprised that that is the first farm here in the Dwarven Empire. A Glowlichen farm. Yeah. Anyway, we'll use probably a fair amount of Glowlichen. Maybe not a whole lot, but yeah. This should be the last thing that I need for the ice farm that we're going to make today. So, if we head down here, this should be everything else that I'm going to use for the ice farm. So I think I'm good to go. I have some water in my ender chest and a bed. Yeah, I think I'm good to go. Oh, yeah. Storage room. And I'm oxidizing some copper. So I put up some composters. These are, auto compost. There's hoppers behind there, and there's hoppers that go into the barrels. Some looms. I tried to make sure that there was one like tool station or table workbench tool thingy around here somewhere, so that I can, if I need to clear an enchantment or make use of a stone cutter or rename something, or this is a cartography table, so if I do map stuff, yeah. And then I sprinkled in a few crafting tables in here, and I made sure I have plenty of storage for everything. If I have one complaint about the Empire's storage room, it's that I feel like I'm trying to do all of my work in a little tiny room, like I'm trying to do everything in here. So yeah, that's why I try to spread it out and give myself a little bit more room. So, speaking of the Empire versus here, we built the Nether portal last episode. And as you saw, I made myself an easy way down here. So now we can start working on that ice farm. Yeah. Let's start working on that ice farm. So, well, I think you know what that means. Another time lapse. farm is done. And this is a pretty easy build. It's just 6 blocks wide, diagonal half slabs with an unmovable block underneath them, going all the way down. That way all of the water can refill after we break the ice on the top. And then a flying machine return station over there, and then the flying machine and, well, I guess another return station on this side. So, if I come over here and flip the lever, you can see the flying machine go. Now, there is some issues that I have with this design, and that kind of comes from the fact that ice has to have a solid block next to it before it can form. Which means that the ice forms outside in. Yeah, so like you see ice forming there, but you don't see ice forming here in the middle. That can just lead to some issues down the road. If we get to the point where the pistons on the flying machine can't push down the outer layer of the ice, I have seen some like flowing water issues where we don't form another source block, like here in the middle somewhere, and that will cause the rest of this to not form ice, which can be problematic. But we will try to come back here frequently and harvest the ice from down below. So if we go down below, this is where I'll be harvesting the ice. I will probably try to just harvest as much as I can reach from just down below. With this design, you need to have at least one layer of ice between the bottom, well, between the water and the bottom of the farm. So we will have to have the flying machine run for a while so that we actually have some ice down here to collect. So I think I will let the ice farm run for a while, and where am I getting out here? I will let that run for a while, and we will start working on our next project, which might not actually be all that far away. I think what I want to do over here, since we're kind of in the ice and cold weather theme this episode, is I've flattened out this area here, and I think I'm going to lay down a whole bunch of cauldrons and collect some powdered snow, just kind of passively, as I'm waiting for the ice farm to fill up. So, I was considering doing more of a decorative area over here, but I think I'm just going to go fill this entire thing with cauldrons. So, I'm going to fill this all the way up, and then we will probably head underground. I put down a whole bunch more cauldrons, and I hung out here so some more ice could freeze, and we could gather up some powdered snow. And because I started, tinkering with designs and ideas for what we're going to do underground. And one of the things I want to do involves bees and honey. So, I think before we head underground and start, figuring out what we're actually going to do there, by which I mean bring what I've created in a creative test world down there, we are going to have to go and grab some bees. So I figured I would fly around. There's a fair amount of forests around this area, so I'm gonna run around and see if I can find a few bees, and then we can head underground. All right, so I flew over this forest over here, and I'm seeing a couple of bees over this way, which is usually how I end up finding the bees' nests. And then I took a look at the trees around, and I found this nest. So I'm pretty sure these bees around here, they're up there somewhere, are from, oh, there's one, are from this nest. So what I need to do is I'm going to put a campfire here. That way when I break the nest with a silk touch tool, it does not have to be an axe, so I could have used my my pickaxe. but it's going to be faster if I do it with an axe. I think there's 2 of them in there. And really, I want the bees from the nests more than the nests themselves, because then I can breed up the bees and create bee hives. And that's what I will use in our honey farm. So I am going to wait for it to be night. The bees will then head back to their nest and, well, they'll be in the nest, and then I can take down the nest with the campfire underneath it and carry it off to our dwarven kingdom. So yeah, this is probably just going to be a bit of a waiting game. So I will probably scout around. Looks like there's some more bees over there, so there's probably another nest over there. And I'm going to try and get 3 nests with at least 2 bees each. So let's let me hunt down those, and I'll see you back underground. I was able to find 3 bee nests out in the wild, and I think all of them have at least 2. If they don't have all of 2 bees, well, then we can breed some more with just a little bit of flowers. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some campfires. I think I'll do it here. 1, 2, 3. We'll start with 3, but I eventually want to have a 4th one there. And then I'm going to put down some dirt right in front, and then put a flower on top. Then I think we should get out some glass. And we need to encase the bees so that they can't escape and go all over the place. And what we're doing here is breeding up some bees. We have 3 bees nests, but I want to have 8 beehives for our bee farm, for a honey farm and honeycomb farm. So we need more bees and bee nests, beehives, beehives, beehives. And the way we make bee nests, bee hives, is with honeycomb. So we need to harvest some honeycomb from our bee nests here. So that's why we need the flowers here, because they need to access flowers before they can pollinate and increase the honey level on the beehive. So I think we will fully encase them in. This is going to be easier with half slabs, I think. So I actually found some spare crimson half slabs in my ender chest from probably a project over in the Empire. So I'm just going to put half slabs down like that. That should give me a half block gap in here so that I can interact with the bees. I'm hoping that means that they can't get out after I breed them, but we will see. All right, so we are only going to put 3 beehives in here to start. And we need I don't know if I mentioned it or not out in the wild, but we need the campfires down so that when we break the hives, the bees don't get mad at us. So let's get out our beehives. And I have no idea if it's day or night, so I'm going to try to do this quick. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so we have a number of bees here now. It looks like we have 5. There might still be some more in the nests themselves. But for now, we have our bees here. And looks like this one is already filled with honey. So let me grab a shear. We can shear that guy. And we can make a beehive right away. I have some dark oak planks. Beehive. I might wait for nighttime so that I can just plop it down there without having to worry about bees escaping. I also grabbed one of each of these 2 tall flowers, and I think I'm going to use these to breed up the bees here. So I'm going to put down some dirt, plant them down, and then I can just take some bone meal and click on the 2 tall flowers and instantly get some more. So I'm going to use that to breed up the bees, and then we will fill up this beehive, and then we'll get another beehive ready until we have 8 beehives, because that's how many we want in our farm. So while I run around and do this, I think I will show you guys the transformation of our little grow area over here. Okay, we have mostly finished kind of transforming this whole valley cave area. And it looks really, really good. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I do have a few plans for some more stuff. Like here, there's a big area that I could do something more with. There is a tunnel between that farmland and this farmland that I would like to do something with. And then a few more paths through the actual moss down there over towards where our storage area is. A few things that were kind of hard to see in the time lapse. One is up here. I turned this into kind of a netherwort cave. So I've started growing some netherwort up here. I will eventually fill this all out to be completely growing netherwort. So yeah, that's that. And then over here, I made a tunnel that goes through this pillar here that kind of leads down to our storage area. So if you go through here, then it opens up here. And then I do want to kind of turn this into a little bit of an axolotl sanctuary pool type area. I may end up putting some like sea pickles in here. Flip did something like that in his Empires Season 2 base, which I think is a really, really cool idea. But we'll see about that. Yeah, I think the next thing we need to do is actually deal with the bees. All of our beehives should now be filled with bees. I think I do have one spare bee, but I might wait until the sun goes down so that all of the bees are in their hives. And then I will pick them up and we can bring them over to where we are going to set up the bee farm, which I think is going to be here. We're going to have 4 beehives there and 4 beehives there. I think one side we're going to do like honeycomb and the other side we're going to do honey. And then we can sort it in our little storage area. And I think that's what we're going to use these barrels for. One of these is going to be for honeycomb and the other one's going to be for honey. So let me wait for night and tear down the bees and haul out an area back there for the bee farm to go. And I will probably just end up building the bee farm and then walking you guys through it afterwards, seeing as we are very, very close to out of time for this episode. All right, the bee farm is pretty much done. I think I just have the actual beehives left themselves. So let's put those in here now. Let's see here. Boom, 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 and boom. Must be nighttime. Nice. All right. And then this side. Boom, 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 and boom. So as you can see, I've set this side up with honeycomb and this side up for honey bottles. So if I sneak around here into the back, we can see the setup. So what I basically just did is have a block right behind the hive so that I can pull a signal out with comparators. And then I'm using sea lanterns for light back here, and then they run into a target block, which is right above the dispenser, which on this side is filled with glass bottles. And on the other side, it's the exact same setup, but it's filled with shears instead of glass bottles. And then we have this track here, and I'm going to throw a minecart with hopper on. There it goes. And that's going to run underneath both sides of it and run back. And it's going to go up here into a filter system. And this one is going to filter out honey bottles, and this side is going to filter out honeycomb. And then, so this side is going to go down here into a double chest, and then eventually into this barrel here. And then obviously the honey bottles is going to go into the barrel that's right there. Can I get that back? And I've also set this up with overflow protection. So if either the honey bottles or the honeycomb fill completely up, it will go into this hopper line, which is going to put it into a dropper. And I've turned this into a smart dropper with a little bit of redstone. And I have a bucket of lava in this cauldron. So it's going to drop out of the dropper, go into the cauldron with lava and burn up. And so yeah, that is our honey farm. So we should be able to see eventually when the filter gets filled up here. After that happens, we should be able to see some honey bottles and honeycomb in here. So yeah, that is our honey farm. So I think that will pretty much do it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.